Hello. So, been thinking about my posts and how I'm gradually going to build things up um, so that the viewing content is more interesting. So, just going to start off a little bit more about, um, yeah, just myself, my beliefs, and experiences. So, I know it's a heavy topic, but because I've started off on the in the direction that I've started. I guess now, I guess now, I'm going to have to tackle the subject of suicide. It's it's a heavy one. It's it's a touchy subject. I can't tell you what it's like as a parent because both of my children, my daughters, are quite stable, and they've got other people in their lives that they rely on. It's pretty much basically if my children come to me, they need a talking to. They need some grounding. Um, but other than that, they just I hardly even hear from them. Last time I saw my children might have been January. And they live an hour away, and they've both got licenses, and one's got a car. And they're close. My daughters are close. They're 4 years apart, but relationship wise, they're close. There was a time when my oldest daughter, she couldn't tolerate much about my youngest daughter, and uh, things they say stupid things when they're kids. I don't want this to hurt my youngest daughter because she never heard it, but I don't want it to hurt my oldest daughter. I don't want it to cause a conflict or issues. But as children, children, you got to think, man. 9 years old, 5 years old, they're at that stage where a sibling following them around in the age of discovery, it can be quite an inconvenience. And I understood that. But I've had very little to do with my children's upbringing. That's what I'm trying to get at, I suppose. And she hurt me that day. She hurt me when she said that. My oldest daughter, she says, "I hate my sister." I said to her, "No, you don't. One day you two are going to be such close friends that you're going to regret saying that." That's all I said. And today, they are so close that honestly, I think they're best friends. If it wasn't for their mother being involved in their lives and how much they rely on their mother, I could actually believe that they were best friends. And I've never experienced any type of rapid response or emergency response or um, any worries that have been highlighted by the doctors or anything like that. So I've been lucky. But myself, I've been through a heavy type journey. Um, I went from being an extrovert to an introvert at a young age. when I was 13, I had an accident in a swimming pool. I was sliding down from a shallow end to the deep end in a swimming pool, and I turned and faced upwards as I was sliding down on my feet. And when I hit the level of the water that was in the bottom of the pool, it became twice as slippery, and my feet got taken out from underneath me, and I hit the bottom of the pool with my chin. And because I had an overbite, my lower teeth hit my top teeth, forced my teeth up into my jaw, shattered all up underneath my nose, and disintegrated my 3 front teeth. So from then I went from a person that was easy to make friends, was really popular. In my third form year at boarding school, so I went to Marist all boys boarding school, and yeah, that just shut me down. Um, Basically because I couldn't talk, like I couldn't actually physically talk. It was painful, and it was better for me to just not say anything. And then regretting the accident and regretting my actions and regretting having done what I did, that came back to haunt me too. So I've always been introverted and a deep thinker since then, a really deep thinker. Um, yeah, so, but let's get back to the topic at hand so we don't have to go back and visit. It's I don't like talking about it, but it's healthy to talk about it. And if there's any young kids out there, or because it's getting quite serious, any teenagers, that's what I'm trying to hit at. Like, I really think that adults are aware that there's help out there and they need to go and get it for themselves. So the self-help type of mentality and attitude needs to sink in. Otherwise, I'm just ready to let go. I can only hold so much people in my heart and care about so many people that if it gets to the stage where people aren't going to help themselves, then I'm not going to help them either. That's not selfish. It's just looking after myself and my own best interests. And best interests. As far as teenagers go, I know you parents out there. I don't know if you've heard, but during the time of my life, I've heard number one main reason for why teenagers commit suicide is because of acne. Now that's just like, I just look at that and think it's so silly. It's so silly. We love you children. We love you kids. We love our teenagers, and for you to be concerned about such a trivial thing. And we all go through it. We all get acne and we all get pimples, and you know, um, I did a post a while back about washing in sequence. Something sends you to the shower, something tells you to have a bath, and it's normally an area of the body that is so dirty or smelly that you need to take care of it right away. But what you're not conscious of is the fact as soon as you get into that shower, is you directly wash that area first. Say, for instance, it was your smelly toe jam toes. You would wash your smelly toe jam toes first just to get that job and task out of the way, and then you'd wash your face, and then you wash your hair, and then you wash your body, and you forget that you've just washed the stinkiest, smelliest part of your body because that's the urge that sends you to take a shower in the first place. I hope I'm making sense to you. I hope I'm not talking about these things and you think I'm silly or stupid for bringing these things up. But when you think about it and you think, oh, I took a crap earlier today, I really need to get in that shower, and you've been putting it off all day because you've got work to do in the garden, or you've got homework to do, or you've had to go for a run down to the shop or the grocery store and get something, and it's just had to wait, and it's just got worse all day. So by the time you get into the shower, you've just washed your ass crack, all right? And then you wash your face and your hair and your body, and let's slow down a bit, because that could be an area of why your face and your head and your is becoming infected with toxins that are harmful to your body. So just be conscious of, no matter how pressed or urgent it is, that the thought that is pushing you to have a shower or bath or wash, just do it in sequence. Do it in sequence. Wash your face first because it's the most cleansed. Wash your hands. Wash your face. Shampoo your hair, your body, and then take care of those nasty areas last. It's just a matter of self-conscious. I haven't struggled with acne, but for the sake of it, it is a heavy killer. It's a killer. It's what drives teenagers to suicide. So, in all seriousness, we need to be serious about this. As parents, as guardians, anything I can say to help the young ones out so that you understand what's going on and can provide a better system and way of doing things for yourself, then I'm all for it. I'm all for it. Another thing I wanted to say was suicide. The act of committing suicide is an impulse. An impulse. All of a sudden, you just get up and do it. Now, you've been thinking about it. You've been toiling over a thought. You've been worrying about it. Yep, the worst has finally happened in that situation. And they throw all caution to the wind and they just do it. I'm a survivor of an attempted suicide. So I'm not talking hypothetically. I haven't studied a psychology degree for 5 years and done a master's to be able to sit here and give you all of my theoretical thoughts on matter. I've actually survived suicide. It was over a girl. It was a love, heartfelt matter, and it was always going to be a heart matter with me. It wasn't going to be based on my looks. It wasn't going to be the fact that I had 3 left feet, uncoordinated, couldn't play sports, strict parents when it comes to learning an instrument, just a hard out emphasis on mathematics, and I'm no good at it, and all those other reasons that you see other people excelling at something and you're just not good at it, and whatever. My reason was going to be a heartfelt issue. a girl would have been involved, and I would have fell in love with her, and something happened, and that's exactly what happened. It came down to that. But I had removed myself and had been removed from the environment that was unhealthy and that was providing that situation to take place, to occur. And then it was alone, those times alone in my thoughts, that I was left alone in my thoughts because my cousins had to go to work and I was staying at their flat. So I was alone home all day. And so I routinely went through the strategy of what I was going to do. I was going to sit down, I was going to write a letter and explain da. And then, yeah, I lashed 2 belts together. I put one around my neck. I tied one around the closet hanger pole. I tested it to see that I was raised off the ground. And I sat down and I hung myself off the closet hanger pole. And I sat there and I just closed my eyes and switched off, blacked out. Now, there are certain ways of telling that you've succeeded at something, and it was the fact that I had urinated myself. My bladder had passed water. However, I didn't find that out until what brought me back to consciousness was the phone was ringing. And because it was a landline, the phone just keeps ringing and ringing and ringing and ringing and ringing. It doesn't have 12 rings or dial tones and then cuts off and switches to the answer machine. It just used to just ring and ring and ring. So the phone rang and I grabbed the belts and I lifted myself up to standing again and I answered the phone. And I think my mother was on the other end. She was going, no. I says, I just tried to kill myself. And then from there, a whole new journey of recovery was in place, and Mum flew up from Wellington, and because I was in Auckland at 17 and a half. I was working a full-time job at 16. I'd had a big argument with Dad at Christmas. I'd moved into my cousins and the situation happened, and by the end of the year, I was a student at MIT doing sheet metal engineering. And just the whole pressure of everything got to me. And it was impulse. You just decide to do this thing and you, like, had it been a tree or something hanging off the ceiling, I wouldn't have been able to bring myself up. Because I decided to sit down in the wardrobe, I was able to bring myself back up to standing. And then after that, I run the bath, and because I pissed myself, I'd washed, and it was just a, I think it's called somber moment. It was yeah. So what? I'm glad. I'm so happy that I failed. Because of all of the things that I can look back in my life now and see that the things that I'm happy about, I have, it's kind of a blessing because I can see all of the good things that I would have missed out on. How sad my family would have been, how my brother and my sisters would have had to have carried that, how they would have possibly thought we should have been there for him. We should have cut him in. We should have given him a bit of a chance. We should have cut him some slack. Whatever, however they would have thought, it. Only if I had succeeded, though. They still treat me like I'm an asshole. They still hate me because I bring a negative, adverse feeling to the room. But that's the privilege they get for me being still alive. The other option of that, what? They're happy that I killed myself? Well yeah, that could be a depressing thought and a downgrading agent. So don't go thinking that. Whatever your analytical thoughts are right now at this time, there are parents out there that actually are living that nightmare. I'd give anything to have my child back now. I'd give anything to have my brother back now. I'd give anything to have my sister back now. I'd give anything to just be able to sit there and talk. I just wish they had come to me and talk to me about it. I'm sure I would have been able to say something to make them happier. All of that. But it's all past tense now. I don't know if I'm making any difference in your life talking about this. There is an issue out there with suicide, and it does need to be talked about. And with people doing campaigns and going out there and saying we need to be more aware of this, we need to be more aware of that, we need to be more aware of that, without actually having a personal experience to share with anybody that may be going through it. It's more than usual all about bums on seats. The government has this nest egg of funds that they put to the side, and that's their care package for suicide, for mental health. And then they go away and they deal with economics, business, health, roading, policing, and all that other stuff. But okay, so we've got a little fund there. Take it away, and then this agency pops up and says, "Oh, we're all about preventing suicide. Oh, you need 20 clients on your list in order to receive funding." Oh, yep, Joyce. Well, that's done sorted, sweet. They've got a full-time job now. Don't have to worry about looking for a job now. There's always going to be people out there that are thinking about committing suicide. So it's just like the policeman. He wouldn't have a job without the criminal. The prison guard, he wouldn't have a job without the prisoner. Does he really want to stop crime? Does he really want to make a difference in that prisoner's life that he's corrected for life and never comes back? That means he hasn't got a job to pay for his mortgage. He hasn't got a job to put food on his table. Does the judge really want to see an end of that queue that's outside his courtroom every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Friday? Because if he did himself out of a job, he wouldn't be living such a high and pricey life. And judges get paid a lot of money. They work their whole lives to be sitting in a sweet, cushy position like that. So you gotta wonder if they really care. If they really care. And then you got people that are on the opposite side of the foot and they can't actually kill themselves or off themselves, so they try to get people to help them kill themselves, and it's called euthanasia. What? Come on. Hey. When it gets to the adults, They can pretty much do whatever they want to do, eh? I ain't got time for it. I just ain't got time for it. Grow up and get on with it. Get on with life. Do what you gotta do. You do you, I'll do me. It's not a cool phrase, but dog eat dog. More like you just gotta look after yourself. There's no one else is gonna do it for you. And it's alright being selfish. It's not alright being greedy. It's not alright being jealous. It's not alright being envious. It's not alright having too much pride. It's not enough. It's not right to have to seek the glory, but to be selfish. It's okay. It's alright to be selfish. Put yourself before any other human. That's okay. If you're a God fearing person, you put God first, and then that's it. It's all you have to do. Put God first. Then you. A lot of the kids that have succeeded in killing themselves, I know. I can tell you, parents out there, I can give you an assurance and ask you to be rest assured that they do regret it. They do regret it for all those things that are unseen, that could have been, that never did happen because they did succeed, that would have brought extreme happiness in their lives. They would have regretted it. They will regret it. They will be regretting it. Even some moments right there, once they'd realised what they've done, the regret would have sunk in pretty much straight away. I don't think there's any happiness behind a soul that's committed suicide. I don't believe that at all. They're not rested, they're not well, they're not better off. They regret it. They regret it. It's like watching a child touch the heater after telling them so many times, look, don't do that, don't do that. And then they learn. And then you gotta stand back and look at them like, I told you. But I'm happy that you burnt yourself. Because now you know. And I don't have to tell you anymore. You did your job. You did your job as a guardian. You did your job as a parent. There was no other way that child, that kid, that person, that human was going to learn. And it's not your fault. Get on with life. Remember the happy moments about things. I just wanted to emphasize another strain of telepathy. Is it possible to talk to the dead? Yes, of course it is. You can talk to yourself if you want to. You can talk to the wall. You can talk to a picture. But if you've ever caught yourself in a moment of talking to yourself, but you're planning out your schedule for the day, what you need to do, and then you catch yourself out like 30 seconds later, and I'm actually talking, I actually said that. There was no need for me to speak that out loud. Why, for all of a sudden, did I need to hear the sound of my own voice? The thing about being able to talk to the dead is don't really want to. It's more about you can hear the dead. You can hear the dead talking because you, based on your memory, based on how you know they would have reacted or what they would have said or the cheeky things they would have said at the time, you know exactly what they would have said at that moment, and they probably did because they're there in your mind. They're not here physically anymore, but they're there talking to you and you're talking to them. You're remembering them and they're trying to get you to remember them. Because they don't want to be forgotten. It's your memories of them that keeps them alive. Good memories, good times, and bad times sometimes. If the person passes away naturally and they were a great guide and guardian to you, now even in the times that you need them, the thought of them will reoccur to you and they'll say exactly what you needed to hear. So that's a good thing. It's a blessing. Change gonna come. Have you ever heard that song? Sam Cooke. I was born on the river in a little old tent. I'll see if I can find it on my phone. We have a bit of a listen to the song, eh? It's on YouTube. I just have to minute writing, and even then with my glasses on, I struggle. Okay. Sam Cooke. Oh. Here it is. Oh, this is a. You want to hear the original? Oh, we'll go original. Huh? Oh, sad. Oh, yeah. Commercials. The day these commercials start paying me, the day I won't mind watching. There you go. Sounds like this, it gives you hope, man. Change will come. Oh, yes, it will. Too hard living, wait to die. I don't know what's up there beyond the sky. No time coming, but no change gonna come. Oh yes, it will. Anyway, just because I'm playing this song, it's probably gonna tell me that I've breached some type of. So I'm surprised if this post is gonna play anymore anyway because of that song. I didn't play it because I wanted to steal it. I just wanted to play it because there's some things out there. There's some coping mechanisms out there that you can grab onto and latch onto in your moments of deep thought. Don't call it depression. Don't call it depression. Without depressed people, doctors wouldn't have a job. Deep thought. You're in deep thought. And we all go there. We all think about things in depth. We have to. These decisions that we make in life, you know, they decide what we're going to do with our life. So it's serious. It's serious stuff. Just, you know, just grab onto something and float a little while. Yeah. So I might not be your best advocate, but when it comes to being a failure, in regards to suicide, I'm happy to be a failure. I'm glad to be a failure. Yeah. So don't be afraid of being a failure. There's nothing wrong with being a failure. You never know. One day it just might be your greatest success. Change gonna come. Change gonna come.